Recording.
Cool.
All right. We're good to go. All right. Welcome back to another episode of Mitten Athletics Live. We are here today. We have another special guest, which is awesome. It's been a few weeks, and every time we say it's gonna get better, and it doesn't in life. And here we are. So appreciate it. Thank you for joining us. Colin, Crazy Colin.
What?
Take it away.
Sorry, it's been a day, and the peanut gallery over here is not doing me any favors.
All right, Drew, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us who you are, where you come from, what your background is. Tell us some fun stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, my background is wide and varied, and I've been all over the place. But in the relevancy of this podcast, I've been coaching in Michigan somewhere around 10 to 15 years. It kind of depends on where you split it up and how you all gather it together. I started out as an assistant coach in Dexter, out in Washtenaw County. I worked with Lex Williams, a former Michigan runner, great dude. He lives out in Colorado now with his wife and daughter. They're amazing. But when he left to go to Colorado, I was able to take over that program. Dexter had a long history of being really, really good in D2, but when I took over in D1, they were not quite at that level. I only coached the boys at Dexter. I didn't coach the girls there. I had a great time with that program. We were able to, in a 4 or 5 year period there, take that team and get them to a place where they were contending for the podium every year and trying to contend for titles. Runner up a couple times, third place as well, but never quite got past Brighton to win it, unfortunately. But then I took a little hiatus from coaching here in Michigan. I went out to Hawaii, where I lived during COVID. Just coach run clubs out there just because I love coaching and I love being with kids. And so I worked at another school out in Hawaii, and I coached some kids out there just for fun and more like a club type thing. We didn't compete or anything. But after COVID, I moved back to Michigan, where I moved to West Michigan, where I live now. I live in Granville. I don't coach in Granville, but I started out coaching at the West Michigan Aviation Academy. Had a great time at that school. Fantastic kids, beautiful environment, and it was fun to get those kids kind of motivated. Was able to, take some kids. I coached both the boys and girls, small program there, but was able to help out those kids. And we had some really great runners. Jack DeVries, Emma DeVries did really well, finishing pretty high in the state finals as well, and that was a blast. And then I got the opportunity to coach at East Grand Rapids, where I was for the last 4 years. And, I coached both the boys and the girls there. I took over in 2022, basically took over a girls program that had won a ton and was expected to win more. And then took over a boys program that was hungry to be successful. And thankfully, we were able to do a lot on both sides. Won a state title, runner-up twice, third place. I don't know. Girls track won a state title with mostly distance girls. Thank you, Drew Muller and Cam Bodine. Shout out, because you girls were studs. So yeah, I've just been kind of around wherever I've been at. I've always tried to connect with kids and tried to connect, to wherever I've been to help kids run, and that's all I really care about at the end of the day. Winning's fun. I love winning. Winning's awesome. But at the end of the day, I just want kids to find a passion for running. I want kids to learn about the art of training and why behind everything, so that they can be successful and they can keep running when they're 40 and 50. Running's given so much to me. I didn't start running really until I was a junior in high school. And if you would have told me when I was a junior in high school, I'd have been running in college and still running now with Colin every morning. And when I'm almost 40 now, I would have laughed, because I played basketball and baseball, and those were my sports. But I found a passion for it, and I can still do it to this day. And that's what I want my athletes to do, for sure.
All right. So I have one quick comment on it, and I'm going to take the first question before I forget it, Colin. Then you can have at it.
Okay. We got time. We have time.
More will come up. Hey, you know this. I'm going to start out with saying I should have started this. This is going to be a more cross-country focused episode. Should have started it in the beginning with that. Not a big deal. Just generically different from what we have been. So quick caveat. And then two question, my first question for you based on what you're saying. So you started with a program that was girls and guys split.
Correct.
With different coaches.
Yep.
How do you like that compared to like East Grand Rapids, where it's combined?
Yeah. I think it really depends on who you have I prefer the programs together. Absolutely.
Yep.
I think that there's a cohesiveness that can happen and we can all grow together. And that's what I wanted to have happen. That just was not the setup over in Dexter. And it was very clear that that was not going to be the setup,
Okay.
Unfortunately. And it got frustrating because our boys team was having a ton of success and the girls team was very frustrated because they wanted that success too, but I really wasn't able to have that contact. The relationship with the girls coach was just not in a good position where we could really work cohesively together, unfortunately. And so, I had a hard time with that relationship with the girls because they'd be coming to me and I would be in that awkward position of like, how much can I help you? Because I want to help you, or I love you and I want you to be successful, but also like you have a coach and she doesn't want me talking to you. And like it was a weird position. So
that's a weird dynamic.
It was, and it was not great for the girls team at all. And really like their dynamic was really difficult because of that. And I think that also fed into some of their lack of success because they were so frustrated. On the other hand, I was able to focus entirely on boys, which is a whole different animal than girls, right? Anyone that's coached anything knows that. And, my personality definitely very much applies to the guys' side of mentality. The things that I can say and do and challenge guys does not always connect the same way with our girls. And I have to be very strategically different in the way I communicate with our girls teams. And so, yeah, it was nice to do that. But when I was interviewing for East Grand Rapids, there had been a bit of a divide between the two programs. Historically, I think they had a singular coach for a long time, or one coach, but really the two programs were treated as two programs instead of one program. And so as I was interviewing for it, I think that was one of my main selling points for how I ended up getting that job, because I had no connections to East Grand Rapids. I was from the outside that world and outside that bubble. And somehow I was still brought in. And I think it was a lot to do with the fact that I had a vision of bringing that program as one cohesive unit. I'm sure people in that program, some people would say I did a great job, and some people would probably say, you know what, this guy only cared about one group. But that's coaching too. You're not going to please everybody. But yeah, long-winded answer to say I prefer absolutely to have one program and treat all the kids as one cohesive program. But if you don't have the team and the leadership that's willing to do that, then it's never gonna happen.
Yeah, you're definitely right. It's challenging in its own way because I am always like, I shouldn't be surprised at this point, but it's always like one of my assistant Kathy multiple times has come up and like, hey, so the girls interpreted that differently than you meant it, so might want to go fix that one. It's like it's hilarious how you can have the best intentions with whatever talk you're trying to give, and it can go sideways in ways that we're not even thinking of, right? I think that something that every coach should hear is Dave Emiot's line that he's been giving. If you're addressing the boys, then and you say, hey, we have a problem with this, then everybody knows, oh, he's talking about Billy, and everybody knows it, right? Yeah. So you can take a singular focus, you can take a singular problem that one or two guys are having, and you can address the whole team and everybody knows who you're talking about. And then if you tell that to the girls team, even if you're trying to talk to two people or one person, everybody thinks it's them. So everybody starts crying. Everybody comes up to you and says, oh, coach, I'll do better. Right. And no, sorry. It wasn't about you.
Yeah. I was talking to a friend of mine, his daughter runs for Granville. And we were just talking about that type of dynamic yesterday of like, he wants to tell his daughter that, man, she could really do X this year, man. That'd be awesome. And putting that expectation out there for her of like, man, I think you could be really good. And how he cannot communicate that to her because she will perceive that as pressure. And she will perceive that in a way that actually is detrimental instead of a positive. And I was like, dude, all you got to do is just make her smile, give her good experiences, and she'll work her tail off for you. But, for a guy, I can challenge a guy and I can be like, dude, get out there, and if you don't run 16 flat this year, I would be shocked. And a guy will take that as a challenge, but a lot of our girls take that as a pressure. And you just have to treat and talk to both teams a little bit differently, and that's definitely something I had to learn. I got to East in particular, because there was a very different culture going on between the two different programs. The East girls and the East boys were very different, and I had to communicate very differently for both of them.
Yeah,
I've made that mistake.
That's a universal thing. Like the goal and challenges, that's a universal thing, and I think that's the hardest. I think one of the hardest things to master. Setting realistic expectations and telling kids what they're capable of. So 3 years ago, when I was a cross country assistant, Russ Gerbers was the head coach. I think that was at that time, that was the most talented girls team we'd ever had. And the Byron Center girls have never qualified as a team. And they were in that 3 to 5 spot all year long. And I think it's still my opinion that like kids really need to know, especially if a team has never done something before, if a team has never qualified before, like that's the hardest part. If they don't know what they're capable of. And so yeah, there has to be like, okay, this is the goal and this is what you can do. And we know you can do it. But then for that group, it did just turn into a big pressure bomb, and they came in 4th by like 5 points or so. And the balloon popped, and it was tears, and it was, I mean, which there's going to be tears anyway, right? Sure. But like that was devastating. And I was talking about that with my current team, and Donna, who graduated last year or this past spring, she was a sophomore when that happened. And so I told that story, and I was like, what year was that, Donna? And she knew exactly what I was talking about because she lived it, right? And but also being able, I think it's a good example, like having that experience within that group is also useful, because you can tell the story and say, and you know what, she lived through it and she's still here and thriving, right?
Absolutely. So, yeah, I think about it like you got to plant the seed of belief, but you can't be the one that takes care of it and grows it. Like the kids really have to own it, and the kids have to really cultivate it. And, like East boys had never won anything. And so, we planted that seed about talking about winning a state title in 22, and like the kids, and you had to really hone in on which kids you were going to have as your leaders. And, for me, it was really easy to see like who my leaders were and how they were going to grow that program and stir the belief in everybody else. And it was really fun to see those things grow. And it's great when it all works out. We won by 1 point, but I truly believe, I think the belief factor was huge. And it took planting that seed and the idea that we can do this. But it wasn't this, if you don't do this, you're going to fail. Because when I was with Dexter, we had talked about that too. We had talked about winning D1, and we had never won D1, and we had never been close. And we kind of came in second, and we got into second place, and everyone, myself included, I was a young coach at the time, and man, we were all devastated. We were so heartbroken because we came so close to the goal, and we just couldn't quite get there. And there was a team that was just a little bit better than us. And then the previous coach, who had won a ton of D2 state titles, he comes up and he's like, "You were second," and like it was like, "Oh yeah, that's pretty freaking good, right?" Yes. Like, and being able to like celebrate that still, even though the goal was to win and you came up just a bit short. Guess what? Second best is pretty freaking good against really good team, best team in history type thing. And it's like celebrate the good stuff and own that stuff along the way, because that's the stuff that really matters, and that's the stuff that the kids still remember. So anyway, that's a long answer for lots of different things that we were not talking about at all.
Nope, that's perfect. And I think, kind of piggybacking on that a little bit, is that I think with girls, they don't always take it the same way up front, but I think long term they are able to kind of see what you're getting at better than the guys were if they don't take it that way. If the guys take it wrong the first time, it's like feels like a personal attack, and it's like always that. But I've had it where girls have come back later and said, "Hey, I took that wrong. It might be 2 years later, but I see what you were saying now. And I feel like
And usually the guys are going to be like, we had that conversation.
yeah, that it either worked right away or it's gone. The girls won't forget about it, but when they remember later, they're like, okay, I see what you're doing. I took it the wrong way. I get it, but it just takes time, right? So it's a hard dynamic.
So you've coached aviation Division 2 or Division 3?
2.
So you've coached in
D1 and D2.
D1, D2,
Yep.
which are both very good, and the top of D2 is crazy good. Is there enough of a difference between the two divisions in your experience to say that they have different challenges, or?
Sure. So I think actually really one of the unique things that I had when I coached is that when I was in D1, I coached in Washtenaw County, which is a hotbed of talent. And, you've got all the good teams there. So you got the Brighton, Northville, you got Ann Arbor Pioneer, you got everybody good.
So you were in the county there equivalent to what we deal with here.
Exactly. Right? And so that's kind of what I'm getting at is like, now I'm on the west side, but I'm in D2, but I'm in the same predicament where I've got 3 top 10, top 5 teams in my region, right? So it's like you could be 4th in your region and you could be a top 7 team in the state, and like that's just how it works. And we had those types of situations all the time, and even with conference. So like over in Dexter, we were in the same conference as Chelsea, which at the time Chelsea had won 3 or 4 state titles in D2 in a row, and we were just trying to win our conference, and it was like going up against these like state champs. And with the year we got good and we were just trouncing them, it was like a big mental shift for our kids, because it's like, oh, like we're actually the big dogs now because we're D1. We should be beating these guys was our mentality. And again, when we start talking about D1, D2, D3, D4, I don't have any parity. It's there are differences, but their differences are obvious, and the why behind them is obvious. But then here in D2, same thing. Like, man, our conference, it was Easton, Grand Rapids Christian, and other really good schools. And so like every time you went out, you had to race and you had to go compete. So whether or not, I think I really focused on the difference between D1 or D2 was less of an obvious thing for me. But I think that was primarily because, man, just to get out of our conference and our region in both places that I coached was always tough. And so, and that was always what I wanted, though. There are coaches that complain about, the regions or how stacked this and that is. I'm like, dude, give me the best. I want to race. I want to race the best people all the time. When we weren't good at Dexter, I wanted to race the best people, like I did. And we didn't make it out of our region my first year there. Like when I took over, we didn't make it out. I had 2 individuals and nobody else. And then 3 years later, we were runner up. Like, it's just one of those things that like, you've got to race the best to get better. You can't be a big fish in a little pond and then hope that you're going to be successful when you get to the ocean. It doesn't work that way. So I really like competing against the best people no matter what. And so when we're in D2 and I've got an opportunity to go race a big time race somewhere, like we're going to go, we're going to race the elite race. We're going to race the big guys. Like we're going to race Northville if we can, like we're going to race the best people. So whether or not I was in D1 or D2, I don't think I really cared. I just wanted to get my kids in the races with the best people to try to push them and see what is out there and what their competition really is. And again, a lot of my kids, I want them to run at the next level. I think I have kids that have always had opportunities to run at the next level. And if you're not racing the best people in your state, you're certainly not prepared to go on and race at the next level either. And so getting my kids on the line against the best runners is all I ever cared about, whether it was D1, D2, doesn't matter.
I love that.
Okay. Fun question. What's your, so you ran for Lake Orion.
Go tough, baby.
And then a year at Cornerstone, and then at Olivet Nazarene.
Right.
So in high school, most of it was on the east side, right?
All of it. Yep. I ran 2 years in high school. Yep.
So it might be different, but like, what are your top 3 courses in Michigan, not counting state meet?
Okay. That I've personally run, or
just from your entire experience.
Okay. Yeah, it's tough. That's a fun one. I think a lot of it has to do with just being able to get out to different places and see a lot of different places. I love Holly for whatever reason. Some people hate Holly, but I love it. It's a lot of switchbacks. It's always about 3,000 degrees out, and there's a massive hill that you have to run up as you enter the last like 100 meters of the race. So like you run up a hill, and then it's like probably 50 meters to the finish once you crest the top. And I always, again, I'm a cross country guy. I'm not a miler. And so for me, I need to find ways to get people's leg speed just gone. And so if you put me on hills and hard courses and turns, that takes away the advantage of milers. And so I love Holly. Holly was always a fun one. And you have to sing for your medals and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of fun. They got some cool traditions out there. And I got to both run there and coach there. So that was kind of fun too, being able to be on both sides of it. I like Kensington out on the east side. Kensington's a really unique course with a good hill at the start, and then you come back and you hit it again at the end. Again, cross country guy, take the legs out of these speedy guys as much as possible, and I'm going to be more successful. And then honestly, one that probably on the west side is a little less known and underrated is Jackson. I really like Jackson. That's a super fun course. It has some good challenges to it, but it always runs fast, and there's always huge competition there.
Jackson's west side?
No.
Well, I mean, it's like
Jackson is South Michigan.
Yeah, okay, but I'm saying less people on the west side go there because it's still a drive.
Okay.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yes,
I'm saying less people on the west side
Yes.
actually go
There we
to
go.
Jackson and
Okay.
race the Jackson invite.
Got it.
And it's a 2-day thing, so you got like JV on Friday, and then Saturday is all
Sure.
varsity, and that's kind of
What's
fun.
what's the west side meet that same day? Isn't there must be a big one over here?
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head.
Whatever.
To be honest. Yeah, there is one for sure. There's something else, but and I think the 2-day thing screws a lot of the west side people up because you can't like take your JV out and get a hotel and then
Right.
run, and then it's too
So
far.
you're basically running varsity.
You're
only.
running varsity only if you're coming from the west side, most likely, yeah. Which is just not worth the travel and time.
Well, if you have a big enough team and you have enough coaches, you can
You can
send
split
one
it.
squad to one place and then keep the JV at home. But
then you got to have
that
one
has its own
program
challenge.
that likes to run all the same races and like the whole team thing, Colin. So
we don't care about dude. Nobody cares, Drew. Nobody cares.
it's all about the individual, baby. They're not recruiting teams.
Wait, hold on. I think I heard that once.
That's another hot button one. Fun. Anyway, yeah. So I'd probably say like Holly, Jackson, and Kensington are probably 3 of my favorites for sure.
Okay. I'll go the opposite side. What courses won't you go to,
Oh,
even if you're chasing good competition?
oh man, I don't want to throw people under the bus, man.
No,
Okay,
do
never
it.
mind. Never mind.
Do it.
Just
Matt,
kidding,
dude.
you gotta do it.
Do it.
It's all the short courses, man. I hate the short courses or the perceived short courses. I know they all swear on them, but dude, I hate going. Like I've never taken my kids to like Benzie. I've never gone to Allendale. I don't like running these super speedy courses, especially because a lot of them are like earlier in the season. I just think it just builds up too much in people's head, and I'd rather not do that kind of stuff and then deal with disappointment when kids can't replicate that a week later. I just don't want to do that to kids. So for me, that's what I try to avoid. I try to avoid those super fast courses early. That's just me.
Do you consider Riverside super fast?
I consider Riverside a fair course
There we go.
depending on the conditions. If it's like firm, it's super quick. But it can run really slow if it's been wet. And I don't have a choice most of the time with Riverside because our conferences are there. So like we're going to run Riverside probably 2 or 3 times every year just because I don't have a choice. And they don't hold a ton of meets there. The optional meets there, I usually don't go to. I usually try to go other places because we run it for conference. So I don't often choose it because we already run it. But yeah, I always consider Riverside a fair course because it can be super fast, but it doesn't necessarily always run fast. But you can run Allendale every time it's going to be fast. You can run Benzie. It's always going to be fast, right? Like those times are always going to be quick.
Yeah, we're we're actually going to we're going to the Iowa Hills invite for the first time this year, and kind of for the opposite reason, because some of the races we went to were so slow. Like, I think there's a nice medium you can have between.
Yeah, try to get some confidence.
Yeah, confidence is good. And some of the ones we went to, we used to go to Saranac, which is hot.
Yeah.
And there are some.
It's a big boy.
There are some nasty hills at Saranac.
Yeah, it's a big boy course.
And I forget what the previous one we went to instead was, but yeah. Okay, well, Aaron, I'm going to have you forward this code to somebody else real quick. Check your text.
Okay.
It's a little surprise here.
Okay.
Ooh, exciting.
See if we can make this work or not.
Oh,
I tried to give him the link, but he said he needed a code. So, anyway, okay. So, we'll get into a little bit of a preview. I don't know how much you researched. I kind of did, but my day
Today's a day, man.
Today was a day. So I think a lot of it's gonna be pretty broad. But I guess we can talk a little bit about here we go.
Let's go.
What's up, guys?
My guy.
I just came here to say one of two things.
Gene the Machine.
Keep my name out your mouth.
Hey, I
or
didn't talk about you yet, bro.
Respect on my name. One of those two. I don't know.
How are we supposed to stir the pot if we don't put your name in there?
Oh man, I'm only complimentary about Gene.
Hey, trust me, there's lots of people that want to stir the pot. They just don't. So
yeah.
Well, I mean,
just get the party started, I guess.
That's right.
Yeah, you tried to yesterday.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess holding kids accountable is stirring the pot, huh?
How much time you got?
I mean, I got all the time in the world.
Okay. So we're just going to start. We're just going to do a little maybe 5,000 foot view of the for those who aren't watching anything, I just got Mr. Gene LeBron on the call.
Gene LeBron.
Well, we lost half the people.
Don't get me in trouble, man, please.
Oh man, I love Gene.
That's kind of the point, isn't it?
Thank you for all listeners that just left. Appreciate it.
Yeah, look at it. All your views down.
No, this is the fun. This is what we're missing. So we're just gonna get into. Why don't we ask you the same question real quick before we go to a little more of a preview? I don't think we hit this last time you were on. Give us whether you ran on them or coaching on them. What are your top 3 and bottom 3 courses in Michigan?
Oh, whether I ran on them or coached on them. Well, when I ran on courses, they were tough. They weren't these, they weren't these like
manicure golf courses.
Yeah, these optic fiber to the mile mark, things like Shepherd. Honestly, one of my no, I mean that's a great course. I'm just saying it's just our kids are so spoiled. I mean,
man.
Shepherd is my favorite course by far. I mean, it's just incredible.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, for many reasons. It's just very coach friendly, spectator friendly, athlete friendly, and I think that's really hard to come by nowadays. So I'll start with that one as a coach, and then as an athlete, probably my favorite course was the Jackson Ellisharp Park.
Let's go, baby. That was mine.
That's what Drew mentioned a few minutes ago when we're trying to get you on.
Yeah, and it wasn't such a great course. I mean, it had everything. It had long straightaways, it had tight turns, and then it had hills, and and it was just chaos all the time. I mean, people running all over the place, and I really liked that course. So I don't know if I could do 3. You really want me to do 3? I'll just do those are my favorite to run and my favorite to coach.
You kind of answered the second question, which is what are your least favorites?
All the rest of them.
All of them. No, like when we created our course at Ithaca, we very specifically said we're going to make this a course that everybody hates so that they hate to come here and run, and we can take advantage of that. So we created this long, like from the 1.5 mile mark to like the 2.25 mile mark straight away with nothing but like corn on each side. And it was just, and even when I came to Alman, we went there, they're like, we hate that course. And I'm like, no, I know, that's why we made it that way. So we won't get in each other's heads, the team's heads. So yeah. But
I can't there in Byron, I don't think I could come up with a good course. That's where some of like the more rural schools like have it really good.
Yes.
Because we just be like one of those, running past the parking lot of the school type of deal. It's just,
and that's real tough. It's tough to
Right.
have a good, with the like you look at someone like Scott,
and there's no
PW.
hills either.
Right.
In Byron.
Well,
It's
like PW is super flat, but I don't know if you've seen what Scott has done over there. We haven't been there for a cross meet yet, but when we go there for their track invite, the kids warm up and cool down on their course, and that thing's just getting better every year we go. So at PW, so it's just a really cool course, I think. So
okay, so 25 minute overview of what we think about the upcoming season.
I wasn't prepared for this, man.
That's all right.
That's what we wanted.
We'll let Drew. Let's start with since it's what he's most familiar with. Let's start D2.
Oh man, you're gonna go right into it. All
Let's
right,
go right into it.
Hey man, I love D2. You know how it is. We talked about it a little earlier. West Side is just stacked. I feel like you've got some really good squads out here on the West Side. It's going to be tough for a lot of teams. I think, Holland Christian looks good. GRC added.
I saw Holland Christian at the Covenant Christian invite last year, and it was one of those situations where like guys know what I'm talking about when you can like tell in the JV race when a team is going to be really good.
Yeah, they were just young.
Because it's like the top 20. The top 20 is all like one team in the JV race. Then you're like, okay, those guys next year are going to be a problem.
Yeah,
I think for a while. I think that about Alma's team for every year. So, GRC added some studs, so they're going to look pretty good this year. We'll see what their depth looks like. I like East with their 1-2 combo. I know Micah always has been known, but don't sleep on TJ Fisher. I know today Speed Ratings Matt put out a thing that had mentioned TJ, but TJ's been just tagging Micah in workouts. He thinks he can go, 16 low, sub 16 at Under the Lights next week if he gets a good one under him, which would be huge because he was never there last year. Their question for the East guys is just going to be about how that 3, 4, 5 rounds out and who's it going to be and when. I think you're going to see them a little bit later in the season. I don't think you're going to see them quite as strong as a top 7 until later on, but they'll be there. Them Alma kids, they're still there, man. They got a stud up front and they got no slouches behind them. They're pretty deep. That Parma team, I think, could be good. I think
very good.
I think they're going to be pretty good. And, I don't know what Flint has because they lost a lot, but, you never want to dog the defending champs. That's for sure.
Yeah. Same thing. I echo the Grand Rapids area. I mean, it's every year they come with strong teams. Holland Christian, we've seen them coming for a while. East Grand Rapids, and one team that no one's mentioned that I think it could be very, very good is Holly. They moved from Division I up to D2, and Richie Brinker is the coach there. He's a good friend of mine, and we saw them at camp, and they've just been doing the right things for a long time, and they've been in that smallest school in D1 and been in some tough regions, and then they get put in one of the weakest regions in D2. I was giving them a ton of crap about that. No offense to anyone in that region. But I just think those guys are hungry. They've been getting beat up in D1, and all of a sudden you drop to D2, and that just does something to the mentality. And I think that's kind of where the focus has been with our guys. I think we will be in that mix, I hope. And I think mostly because, we have a couple of guys, 3-4 guys that have just been itching to get their chance to kind of be leaders and to step into that role. And that was the big challenge. And they've done that so far. I mean, I've been very impressed. Forget about anything running, just the way that they've meshed. It's incredible. I mean, we had our little, our team pictures the other day, and I always have the kids take pictures by the wall, and so I can use them for graphics. And anyway, some of the kids who are going to run, 20 minutes, 18 minutes, they're doing their poses, and everybody's just screaming and going nuts. I mean, everybody's just excited for everybody. And that's what we're trying to do. So I don't mean this in any disrespectful way, but we're really just not thinking about anybody else, just trying to get better and trying not to, occupy our minds with what everyone else is doing. And I think that's healthy for our team right now. So
that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the hardest thing to do. And for me, like as a coach, I think that would be one of the hardest things for me, because I unfortunately love bulletin board material, and I'm a hater, and I like beating people. So it's I have to try really hard to keep the main thing. Because I would just stirring crap up is my favorite thing.
And that's the reputation that you guys give me. And I'm going to be honest with you, as feisty as everyone thinks I am, that's not me. I like beating people I don't like. So don't ask me who that is, because I'm not going to say on here. But there's a lot of teams out there that I truly enjoy beating. And so, I think, even Drew over here last year was kind of trying to get me to
we're always
sucked
chirping
into this. And I'm like, that's not me, bro. I don't do that, So there's just a few teams that I really enjoy beating. But no, I feel like, I have a lot of respect for all the, the people that we compete against, Drew, and, you look at what Flint Powers did last year. That was pretty impressive. And, so, I'm a fan. I'm both a fan of the sport, but I'm a competitor too. And, I'm not as feisty as you guys accuse me of.
Controllables, right? You want to keep an eye out and have an ear to the ground, so you know what's coming and where you're at in races and who to look for and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but
for
at the end of the day, you can't control how they race.
Right.
You control your inputs, and so you've got to do your work, make sure your input is as good as it can be, so that your output is as good as it can be. So you control your controllables, and then you go out and you put forth your effort, and then you see where the chips fall. But it's about going out and competing and having fun and enjoying it. And again, hopefully these kids are doing this when they're 20, 30 years from now, and they're old guys on a podcast, and not just, high school kids that had a good year or two and then we're done. We want to see these kids doing this for life and building friendships that last forever. So I'm all with it, Gene.
And for sure. And I don't know about you guys, but it's sometimes it's just this impossible balancing act. Yesterday and today at practice, I had 10 things that I wanted to cover, and it's not just fluff. I don't like to just stand up there and talk, but it's, finishing all the forms that the athletic, department wants us to do, going over our creed and trying to get kids to be good teammates. And so you cover all this stuff. And by the time you're done with that, you don't really have time to dive into, okay, we're going to this meet on Friday and so-and-so is going to be there and so-and-so is going to be there. It's so for us, we're going to compete at the St. John's Invite on Friday. There's some pretty good teams there. Haven't even talked about it yet. Just, I don't even want to even mention to them who's going to be there. Let's just go and compete and see how that works. And then we can see because we really, until you run a race, you don't really know where you are, how you do. I don't want them to overthink it. So, there's some strategies behind that, and I feel like Thomas and Elijah and even Luca to a certain extent last year, they'd be analyzing where everyone is. And these guys are just having fun. And so, it's a different team. And so I guess every year, though, just that balancing act. I don't know how you guys are before practice, after practice, what's too much, what's not enough.
I struggle with the same thing. There's so many, and it's mostly team building stuff for me. There are so many things that I want to teach them, and you can only give it in 5 minutes because for one thing, I've got to tell Waylon and Micah to shut up. And for another thing, that's really all they can remember. Right. So I got to be really careful. Okay. This is the things I'm going to cover this week. And try to really spread those lessons out and hope that I can do it in a way that keeps the team moving upwards.
Yeah. Like it has to be authentic. If you just get up there and you just talk, it just kind of goes in one ear and out the other. I know exactly what you're saying. So you almost have to have an example, or you have to have and for me, it's like really good. Like I was just talking yesterday, Zeke, our number one guy, he shows up a couple minutes late. And so I'm like, hey, just so you know, bud, I'm going to throw you under the bus. He's like, all right, that's so cool. And I'm like, look, Zeke was late. He didn't text. Like if you're going to be a few minutes late, shoot a text. Like that's the, you know what I mean? And Zeke is somebody, he's this, really good kid, and he's sorry, coach, you know what I mean? And the kids see, oh man, he's getting on Zeke about being late. It's, nobody gets special treatment. You know what I mean? So,
I love it when one of the best kids provide good examples.
Yes.
Yesterday we're doing threshold repeats, and one of my senior boys, I'm running. Me and Drew did a workout yesterday morning, and so I did not run really hard at practice. I don't know if you run with the kids or not, Gene, but I'll jump into stuff. I'll jump into stuff depending on what we're doing. And so I was running with some of the slower boys, and I see up front one of the seniors what's his deal? Why is he 20 meters back right now?
Yeah.
And we're on the last rep, and he just pulls off to the side, hands on knees. And it all comes out his mouth. And I was like, oh, that makes more sense now. I had Culver's 2 hours ago. And so, that was a great,
that's why you don't do this.
Hey, kids, it matters. What you eat before practice matters.
Yeah. So
even the seniors do it.
Yeah. I got a good one for you real quick. I don't know if you guys remember Lainey Bloom. I just talked to her the other day and we brought this story up, and I told her I mentioned her on the last podcast, but she was, we had a meet, and we were running against PW, and they had the Scott Denise, the Warner girl, and she was like a freshman, and Lainey was like, my side really hurts. I don't know if I should run today. And I'm like, ripping. I'm like, you're just scared because you got a good girl. Like, this is what championship athletes are, they want competition, but I'm just going at her hard. And Lainey's dad was super supportive. He was fine with it. And so she gets done with the race, and I'm like, see, you won. You beat this girl by 30 seconds. She's like, I know, but it still hurts. And I'm like, you're still on that kick. Anyway, long story short, kidney stones.
Oh, kidney stones.
I was waiting for appendicitis.
She calls me from the hospital. Hey, just so you know, I have kidney stones. And I'm like, yeah, but did you die?
So now you should be even faster next time because you have those stones weighing you down.
But those kids allowing you to
do the adrenaline.
Yeah.
D2 girls. Gene, do you is your program together?
Yes, it is.
Okay. D2 girls.
We're just trying to get better every day. That's our focus. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's what we're doing. We got a young group of girls. We're trying to get them to mesh. So honestly, I haven't even paid much attention, to be honest with you. As we're not going to be anywhere near the front,
right.
So we're just trying.
So you don't know,
get better.
Drew.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to see the Otsego kids run well. You're going to see probably some Grand Rapids Christian girls run well. You're going to see, man, who else is there? I'm trying to think that'll stand out to me as a D2 favorite.
You haven't mentioned I convinced Mr. Matt to send me the rankings for the top 10s on the premise, Aaron, that we don't post this until he posts his top 10 for the girls.
Nice.
So I need to get it out tonight?
No,
right
thank
now.
you. Don't get me in trouble.
Yeah.
Holland Christian is at the 1 spot.
Okay, so they're same up there for the boys and the girls.
Yeah. Guess where the East girls are, Drew?
7.
Ooh, you got it right on the nose.
Oh.
Yeah. He's got Linden in there, South Christian, Goodrich, St. Joe, Cedar Springs, and DeWitt.
Linden is 2.
South Christian.
Linden is 5.
Yeah.
Who's 2?
What's DeWitt?
DeWitt's number 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're gonna be really good this year. I do know that.
I don't know that program very well this year.
BJ Dominic is down there. He's done a really good job with some of the younger athletes. I think their boys are going to be better than people think too. They had some 8th graders last year. I think if you look, they had 4 8th graders that ran between 10:30 and 11:30 for 2 miles. So something like that, something crazy. But yeah, they're the
Probably just
Wits.
get overshadowed by Parma, right?
Yeah, I mean,
In that
it's
region.
that. Well, we were in that region before, and it was like crazy tough, man. I mean, that's another one
Yeah.
of those top 15 regions. So the MHSAA does the thing that they do, and they moved us into another region that has 3 top 10 teams now. So
They know what they're doing. Don't
Good times, baby.
let them fool you.
Hey, you could be
Yeah.
you could be in West Michigan D1 where I've only got 2 options and they're both really really good.
yeah,
Hey man, race the best.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
I
Yeah.
agree. Okay, let's go D1. So Gene, I'm not assuming
You
that
got
you.
boys.
Sure, yeah. I did tell Drew to do a little bit of research earlier today, so we'll see if
Yeah,
he got that in around his open houses.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I had
I
open houses. I had
haven't even.
softball practice. I had kindergarten orientation. Man, it was a day.
That's it.
That's
Well,
it.
that was from 10 a.m. until 7 p.m. So
Well, I mean, look, it looks like here Matt's got Skyline up there. I mean, Northville's always good, obviously. I mean, D1, pick your poison. I mean, D1, I think there's just so many teams that, is Skyline like a heavy favorite or?
So
pretty tight at
that
the
one,
front,
I
isn't
looked at that. That surprised me a little bit. I didn't realize how much Pioneer had lost. They had only one of their guys. I think one of their guys last year was not a senior, Kamari. So
Okay.
Pioneer lost a ton.
that would explain them dropping down a bit.
Yeah. Skyline, they are the ones. Didn't they win? I think they won the 4x8 at track. So they're the ones that upset Northville.
Yes,
spring.
they did.
So it's not too big a surprise, especially like I went back and looked at their ages from last year's finals, and it was mostly 10th and 11th graders. So that the math makes sense.
Okay.
Jamal and them are gonna be mad if you don't say Lowell.
So I was getting to that. This is where I can chime in a little
They're
bit.
gonna be real mad if you
don't
don't
say
say
it.
Lowell.
Yeah, so I'm close with the Lowell guys because one of their coaches is one of my running buddies. They're at 3.
No.
What's that?
Nothing.
So Lowell's at 3.
One that surprised me on here was Midland. I just haven't really seen them as like a program that's been up there for a while. So, I mean, Gene, you're closer up north there to Midland, but I hadn't seen Midland, other than like the girls that have been rocking it, but I hadn't seen the boys for Midland as that strong. I guess I hadn't missed that.
They've actually been coming along. The only reason I know their coach is married to Evie, who was the coach at Saginaw Valley.
Okay.
And I know that Saginaw Valley just posted a position. I don't know if she's still there or not. But no, they just seem like they kind of know what they're doing. So they've had a couple of good.
That could be a way too early for track too. Then if they are starting to put a distance program together,
Yeah.
that could be scary.
TC West is on here. Jennison is at 7. They're in our conference. They're always good. They're getting a really, really good freshman in there. I'm kind of surprised that Caledonia. I mean, there's a lot of good teams on here, but the Caledonia boys.
I think that might be a Matt thing anyway. I think Matt just has to dog Cal every time. So
he messaged me.
dude, they love their engagement over there at Caledonia.
Yes, they're also in our conference, but I don't know if they lost 1 or 2 boys, but they are deep. They're
strong.
Deep.
I was surprised they're not even listed in his top 10 at all. But there's also
there's a lot of good teams here.
Some big names on that list. So
Brighton, not that they were bad, but they weren't. I guess I haven't really looked a ton, but Brighton is not a name that you've heard really the past few years because Northville and Pioneer have been going pound for pound.
Dominant.
TC West is good. Salem, I don't know anything about them. I don't even know where it is.
Plymouth, near Plymouth, right?
Well,
it used to be like Plymouth Salem, Plymouth Canton, and then they split. And one of my good friends from CMU went there, and he told me the story. But yeah, I don't know how that.
You tell me because I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
No offense, Salem. Don't come for me in the comments. If
You should do it.
Not a
Actually,
witch hunt, right?
you
What's
should
that?
do it, and
Not a
then you
witch
should
hunt,
join.
right?
I see what you did there.
You should join
Let's
and talk
see.
about it.
Pull up the girls real quick. D1 girls. Okay.
I think there's
Guess,
a clear favorite for
guess
sure.
the number one.
Yeah, Pioneer is going to be
Yeah.
pretty walk away if they don't. That'd be a surprise.
Want to guess number two?
I'm gonna go. Golly,
East or West?
is
East.
it Hudsonville?
Hudsonville's 3.
That was close.
Yeah.
Um,
Hudsonville girls are.
not
they have-
Romeo, is it?
no,
Have they-
the Romeo is not in the top 10.
Oh wow.
Holy cow, Romeo is down at 20.
Wow.
Yeah. Northville.
Northville. Okay.
Okay.
Northville girls. Skyline, West Ottawa, Rockford, Novi, Jenison, TC Central, Portage Central.
That's pretty spread around the state, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 of them from my region.
Man, look at this guy just complain all the time.
Hey,
My
that's-
goodness.
I'm
what
on
he
your
does, even
side.
not on here.
Compete. Give me. This is one of the things I thought about. Like if for whatever dumb reason they went to more divisions in, I don't know any different. I've been coaching at Byron Center since they've been D1 and everything. And so I would almost feel, I guess if I was one of those bubble teams, right, it might be different if I was like the smallest team in D1. But I don't want to win just because it's easier. Right. So I'm up for, give us the best.
I think, but let's be honest here. I think really it would be better if we went to like 10 divisions and then 2 of those divisions were 3 team, where you only counted 3 runners, because it's hard to get people out for cross country in those smaller schools. So,
and they have to be fifth grader or
No
sixth
comment.
you get it, right? You guys get it,
No
right?
comment.
Okay.
No comment. No comment. Oh man. Okay. D3 boys.
Saugatuck.
Yeah, Saugatuck's the strongest for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's always hard with D3 and D4 because, it relies so much on depth. I was talking to Rich Langa, Calvary Christian, and it's like, man, you got to know who's coming in to like really evaluate some of these teams, because they really rely on some of those
could change
rising
quick,
8th graders
right?
and the 9th graders. They really need them. Whereas like a lot of our D1, D2 programs are at the top. Like if you're counting on a freshman, like you're probably not
You're not
going
going
to
to
be at the top
yeah.
anyway.
Or
right?
you have a stud.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those guys are the ones that are going to develop. Whereas at D3 and D4, like an incoming freshman can make or break and change the trajectory of your season potentially. And I think that really makes it harder for some of us that are less plugged into that D3, D4 world to really give that clear cut idea, unless there's like returners that are really, really, really strong.
Well, if you look at Saugatuck,
I think Saugatuck's a good one. For sure.
they
Just to caveat
they
that.
picked us to finish 5th in D2, and we had a time trial against them at camp, and it was.
I was
2
going to say they
miles,
were at the
which
same
I know-
camp as you, right?
they were like 2 points behind us.
Yeah.
It was a close one. It was really tight between us, Holly, and Saugatuck. So, so I would say they're probably my favorite. So
For sure.
Yep. So the top 10 from Matt is Saugatuck, Hanover, Horton, Charlevoix. And he had their boy ranked like 2nd or 3rd in his tickets, I think, which I'm not sure if that's a rankings thing as much, but Hart, Lansing Catholic. So we know Tim is going to have that program in a good spot.
Yeah. I think they're probably better than that, but
Probably.
Yeah, that's what Rich said too. Rich was like, dude, you got to watch for Lansing Catholic and Maple City. They're both going to be really, really good. So it'll be interesting to see, because he lives in that world. So it'll be interesting to see how they shake out.
Jackson or Jonesville after Maple City, Jackson, Lemon Christie, Caro, and Powama, Westphalia for the boys. Girls, where are we at? Take a wild guess at who's on top of the girls. Speaking of,
PW?
no, there's 2.
No. Okay.
Is it Hart?
No,
No, they're not that good.
there's 6.
All right.
D3 girls. Olivet? No.
Nope. Lansing Catholic.
Oh, okay, yeah, Lansing Catholic. That's
Yeah. Lansing Catholic, PW, Ithaca, Traverse City, St. Francis, Covenant Christian, Hart, Blissfield, Benzie, Maple City, Lake City.
Yeah, we saw Ithaca at camp, and the girls look good. Stevens Merchant has done a really good job there. He ran for me and he took over when I left, and I really feel like I'm really happy for him too, because this is his team. You know what I mean? Like, for a while there, it was girls that I coached, and he probably had to hear that LeBron all the time, and these girls are all his. I've never coached any of them, and so it's really, really great for me to see that program keep,
Awesome.
So
Covenant Christian, one of their coaches runs with our Saturday morning group. And he's been talking their girls up pretty good. So seeing them up there and it's pretty cool. That's actually my dad ran for Covenant Christian like 30 or 45 years ago. Actually, he's that.
yeah.
So yeah. And then the rest of this is like, I've learned more about Michigan geography through coaching. Like, where is Blissfield?
Yeah, that's down by Adrian. Right?
All right, D4.
Right?
Unless you have any more D3 thoughts.
No.
I mean, some more of the same thoughts here. I'll since I've already got the messages up, we'll just have we'll start with the girls.
Whitmore.
Any guesses? D4.
Whitmore Lake.
They are at 4.
Okay.
But
He's
they've
just
been
been for a while. So,
but like you said, this is one where one kid can change it, right? So Hillsdale's at the top.
Oh, yeah.
Hillsdale Academy.
Buckley?
That one, yes, yeah.
Okay.
Academy.
What do you think,
Yep.
Buckley?
10.
Okay.
Where's Concord? They on there?
8.
Okay.
Fowler, Whitmore Lake, Gobles.
I was like, Gobles has got one girl, right?
Yep. Hackett, Sacred Heart, Concord, Royal Oak, Shrine, and Buckley. So this is where I feel bad not giving them as much shine as D1 and D2, which it's the hard part because I know compete against those guys all the time, and just because of the way the geography shakes out, I don't even see most of these teams like ever.
Right.
Yeah.
So if somebody from D3 or D4 is like, offended, I'm very sorry. I had to spend a half an hour loading bikes up to take my kids to practice today, so I couldn't do any sort of research. But yeah.
That is, as a side note, just why I appreciate Matt so much and all he does with speed ratings, because man, they go into all of these divisions and all of these regions and actually really go into it pretty well for hard stuff. Because again, a lot of us who coach and pay attention to this stuff pretty close, man, we still only really know our area a lot of the times.
Oh yeah.
And it's amazing what some of these guys do just to shine light on kids, and I love that. And as much as we all love to poke at Matt and have fun with him, dude does an amazing job. So I always want to shout him out.
Like I've tried to deep dive just the teams in my conference once in a while, just to have, you can't predict anything, right? Like, you don't know if this boy's playing soccer, this freshman boy's playing soccer instead, right? So like you plan for some scenario in your head, and then this kid never even shows up, right?
Yeah.
But so for Matt to go through this, for how many teams are there in Michigan? He's got
it's crazy, man. It
just
really is.
Just gotta be a lover of the game. Boys.
Is that what they call it?
What's that?
Said ball knowledge. Is that what they
That's
call
true.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
E4
I know
boys.
Breckenridge is going to be pretty good.
Yeah,
They're
I'm
in
telling
our
you, Rich's
area.
team though is going to be Rich's team, Holland Cavalry.
It's
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you're looking at the graphic, but that's who
No.
Matt has.
I just know Rich, man, and I just love what he does with his team, and you know he loves his kids. He reminds me a lot of Eugene as well, just in the way he loves the kids and he loves the development of the kids more than anything else. And so watching his teams be successful the last handful of years has been so fun to watch. So
Yeah, we all love our kids, man, don't we? I mean, we all do.
Oh yeah.
You would hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope so as well, but also
I mean,
some
you
people,
know, there's
some people really love
yeah,
winning,
yeah.
you know,
Yes,
and like
yes.
you know, it is what
Right.
it is. But man, some people are in it for the development, man, and
Yeah.
really about the kids. And you know, he's one of those guys that I've always respected as a guy who's really about the kids. And you know, whether Holland Cavalry was ever good or not, he'd be there coaching the kids.
I mean,
no matter what.
so the Bears mentioning like, and this is where I got an argument on the Facebook page last week or the week before, accidentally, not even looking for it. No, me never. But it was like it was a D3 coach, and I think the cool thing about interacting on that Facebook page is that like it's opened my eyes to like we see like we have our problems that we see every day, and they're based on the environment that we're in, which includes area of the state, it includes division, it includes conference, and then somebody in a completely different area of the state has their own problems, and their own division has its own problems and its own challenges. And I think most of the arguments that happen that we stumble into on purpose or on accident, like I've noticed a lot of them are cross divisional because we all have different issues that we have to deal with. And so so Rich, he's talked on Twitter before. I think he's a really good follow. They have X amount of athletes in their school, so they have to share across sports, and they have to be strategic about it in order to field teams and be successful sports teams. Small Christian school, surrounded by all these bigger public and bigger Christian schools on the west side of the state, and his girls Matt has them ranked number 1. And that's a completely different environment than I coach in. Right. I've got 30 girls coming out. I don't got to worry about those things.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I coached at Ithaca, and I tell you, we never wanted the dual athlete. I mean, we'll take them. I mean, obviously, but we never wanted that because we wanted kids that were just all in, and it wasn't anything against a kid that wanted to do 2 sports. It was just, you know, for me, it's how can you be married to both? It's real.
Yeah.
Dual sporting is very tough for me. And I will say this, I've had one kid, and I shouldn't say just one, but I've had one kid that exemplified how it's done. And that was Braden Truman. I don't know if you guys have ever heard. He was on my track team. He was a 6'6" high jumper, 21-foot long jumper, ran 50 point in the 400. But he was a soccer player. He's playing soccer at Northwood.
Yep.
And I probably love this kid as much as any kid I've ever coached. And you know how I feel about soccer. And, you know, the kid
I don't actually know how you feel about soccer.
You like soccer?
I think I can guess.
But the thing about this kid was, you know, and this is where his parents kind of figured this out, that his passion was for his team. So it was never about like he had to miss meets. So you can imagine how good of a teammate this guy was for me to be okay with him missing like an invitational. Mm-hmm. This kid, we had the PW invite, and this kid asked, he said, I have a soccer game. Is there any way that I can come in long jump, go to my soccer game, and then come back and run the 4x4? And so before the season even started, he wanted to do both, and he said he was going to have to miss a meet. And I said, I just don't know if that's going to work, Braden. Let me go to your teammates and ask them. So I left it up to the team, and they said, yeah, we want him on the team still. And this kid would run through a brick wall for you. So really, you know, I guess that some of the other kids that I've coached that were dual sporters, it's just like it just made them very mediocre at both, not just in a performance sense, but just in learning sacrifice and learning. I mean, this kid, I don't know. So dual sporting is a tough one for me, but he's the shining star of that conversation in my book. So
that's an entire episode on its own.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we should have a round table on that. Would be a fun one. So we can press pause on that.
Colin loves dual sporting, so we can talk later.
I mean,
we can talk later.
It's not my favorite, but the one story I have is we wouldn't have had Cooper Mitchell if we didn't let him play club soccer as a freshman because he wasn't going to run track. And so we said, yes, you can do that. Just try it out. And then he turns out to be an all-state kid, right? And so it's a hard thing. Again, we can probably dial that one up for the off-season, pre-track season.
Yep.
At some point, have a good roundtable on it.
And I will say, though, just real quick, but for me, it wasn't that Braden was good. It was his approach to doing both.
Right.
Constantly trying to please both and, make sure that he did all the little extra things. I mean, it's really that's what it's really about. It's just really about the attitude towards, the sacrifice, like understanding that, I'm really sorry that I have to, I don't know. It was just the way he went about it. I just have a ton of respect for that kid. So he's going to freak when I show up at a soccer game at Northwood. He's playing at Northwood right now. I'm going to go watch him play. He's going to freak out because I've never been to a soccer game.
I love it. And he knows that, of course.
Gene's gonna be there for like 5 minutes. Like I said, I gotta go.
No, I'm gonna be there with my big Northwood foam finger.
Perfect.
So,
okay. Any more cross country as we're going into the season thoughts at all?
Man, I miss it, man. That's it. This is fun stuff, dude. I love it. This is the first time I haven't been coaching in 15 years, so this is kind of fun.
Yeah, I don't know how I would be existing right now if I was in your shoes.
Well, it's fun. I mean, first day of practice, Colin sent me a condolences text. That got me right there, big guy.
We're gonna miss you, bro. But
I appreciate it. I'll still find my way to the courses and watch y'all.
Yeah.
And now it's more fun too because I actively get to cheer for everybody too, which is super fun because I'm always rooting for other teams. I'm always rooting for everybody to be successful. But obviously, when you got your squad, you want to win. But man, it's fun right now because I get to literally just cheer on everybody and I get to be a fan, and it is a blast for me just to be a fan and watch everybody do their thing. And again, I think we have so many good coaches that are doing so many good things for kids. I can just sit back and appreciate that a little bit more now. And it's fun to just be able to watch you guys do your thing. So I didn't really know why Colin wanted me on here because I'm not even coaching. But I wanted to at least shine out some of these other coaches because you guys are doing good stuff. And I just love being even remotely attached to that group. So.
Well, I mean, cross-country people, let's just admit it, are special people, man. Seriously. I mean, from the kids to, most of the parents to the coaches. I mean, the people who do it right, I think it's a fun group to be around. I know for me, man, it's like my youngest is going into 6th grade. So he's got a jersey. He's going to be on the middle school team. So we're living our best lives right now. I mean, for years I was, at Ithaca, loved every second there, but my wife's at home with the kids. They're all little, and I'm looking at my watch going, man, I got to get home. And now we're all doing it together. She's the middle school coach. Luca's going off to college, but, Nico's on the high school team. Mike is on the middle school team. So this is my final push, man. So once I get Micah through, I'll probably be done. It's been a long time.
We'll see about that.
Don't say that.
We'll see about that.
Well, he's got 7 more years, so it's not.
That's not tomorrow, but
this is my 27th year, man. A lot of people don't realize that because I look so young, but this is my 27th year of coaching, man. So it's
awesome.
I need to take a little break.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of breaks, I have to head to camp tomorrow morning, so I want to get to bed on time. Any hot takes from either of you that you want to get off your chest before the season starts?
Oh, don't offer him that.
I don't know. There might not be any. It's okay. No pressure.
I don't even know what I can do as a hot take anymore, man. I'm a nobody. I don't my voice doesn't
whatever.
even matter anymore.
Whatever.
I'm
No,
just
this
gonna
is
be
where
a-
this is
I'm
where
gonna be a
you
little
got
online trolling, and that's
you've
it.
got no
That's it.
connection to anything. So this is where you can just say whatever you want. And then if you're interviewing for a job, you just tell
Well,
me
let's
to
think
pull the
about it,
episode
Colin. Have
down
I
for a
ever
week.
not said what I want anyway? Like I always say what I want to say. So that's
Yeah.
part of why I like Gene so much, because Gene's gonna say what he wants to say, and I love that. That's what it's about. No, I got no hot takes.
He's right.
I'm
Gene's
excited
trying
about
to
this
hide that
season. I'm
grin.
excited to watch everybody, and like I said, these previews are always interesting because it's like it doesn't really matter because
No.
racing starts this week,
It doesn't
and like
matter.
until people start racing, who knows?
Yep.
Like we could.
It doesn't
project
even
all
matter
we want.
next week. None
No,
like
it
the
doesn't
results
matter.
matter. I mean, I'm looking forward to our first invite is Under the Lights at South. It's going to be exciting to finally see some of these kids race, and that's going to be fun. And at best, it's a confidence booster, right? It's not
Gene,
going
have your guys been to that St. John's one?
No, not this
Your
group.
spots.
We used to go. We used to go when I was at Ithaca, and then it got moved back, and it was always like the day we got back from camp. And
Yeah.
so the way the schedule worked out this year, that's why we're not going to the Grand Rapids one. It's just too far for us. We'd get home at like 3 a.m. And so this is a little closer. So they're excited about it. So
We went to that one 2 years ago, and it was fun, man. It was a good time.
the St. John's one or the Grand Rapids one?
No, the St. John's one.
Okay, yeah.
We
They do a
switched
good
it
job
up.
with it.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
went every other. We went to the Grand Rapids one, we went to the St. John's one, then we went to the Grand Rapids one. And I was seeing that you guys were going to that one. I was like, oh, dude, somebody else is going to this thing. This thing's awesome. I love how they did the lights, how they had the string lights and stuff. It was cool. It was a fun little meet.
So that's another nighttime one.
Yeah, it's a night one.
And
it's
it's going to be a good race. I mean, like Owasso is there. I think Owasso's gotten a lot better. DeWitt's going to be there. St. John's always has some good kids. I mean, it's going to be a pretty good meet. So I'm excited. Yeah, the kids are excited, and I think we had a really good workout today. So yeah, I'm excited. I always go on summer break and just like I don't spend a lot of time in the summer with the kids, because we coach year round. Until the summertime. And so I have an assistant coach who runs summer, and I've always said this, like I always get excited to come back in August. And when I don't feel that, I have to be done. But like right now, you know what I mean? We had our summer, our family time, and I'm so excited to be with the kids every day and to go to practice. I mean, practice is the highlight of my day. And if it doesn't feel like that for me, I'm going to be done because the kids deserve better. And I'm not going to lie, they drive me nuts sometimes. I mean, sometimes kids drive, but that's kids. That's what we do, right? That's our job.
That's right.
But it's just so much fun, man. They bring me so much joy. And then to have my kids as a part of that, like I said, not to overstate it, it's surreal. So just really, really a fun time. Yeah.
I got to go back over to East today just to drop off cans for their can drive, and it was just a blast. Just being around because I saw them one other time, but during dead week I got to go over there because I wasn't coaching, so I got to go during dead week and I ran a little workout with some of the guys just because I needed to do a workout.
Oh, East Grand Rapids trying to dodge the rules there?
No, I did a workout.
You hear that, Gene? You hear that, Gene?
It was fun. And I had a blast.
You might want to record that
guys.
just in case. Just
And
save
then,
that in your back
so I
pocket
got
for
to see
November.
I talk over Colin all day long. It's fine. Yeah, I got to see them once in July at the start of July, and then I got to see them today, and it was just fun seeing their energy and seeing all the kids back together again. And I'm like, oh gosh, now I got to go back to like not coaching. It's hard because I have that same energy and that same feel, and I'm not even in it. So it's awesome.
4th of July.
Back to what we were saying though about I got to put this guy on the spot, Drew. Here, the last 2 years, our team we do this fundraiser where they sell like Big B cards and to raise money for camp. This guy every year he buys one from my kid. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't have to do that. He sees that my kid's doing this fundraiser. I mean what other sports have coaches from the other side of the state supporting their friends' kids? You know what I mean? It's just it's cool.
Yeah, his
man.
kids show up in my door and knock on my door in the middle of the damn night though. I was like,
we dropped it off to you. I told you we were gonna bring it to you.
Dude, you freaking knocked on my door and his kids are standing at the door like, I know you. What the hell are you doing? Almost.
Awesome.
Special bonds, man. Special bonds. And I appreciate
sure.
it, Drew. I appreciate all you guys for what you do for the sport. So, and you too, Matt, believe it or not.
Yeah, we love you too.
Oh,
man.
we all do. Even if you do hate our teams,
Yeah.
All of them.
all of them.
All of them.
He hates them all equally, though. It's fine.
Well,
Yeah.
that's true. I think he did say that.
I think he likes that a little bit. I think he likes when I was at Ithaca, he ranked us like something, and we had this thing, and it was a friendly banner back and forth. We did this Muhammad Ali thing where Muhammad Ali said, eat your words. And so we used that as like our battle cry against Matt, and Matt ran with it, and it was so much fun. And,
Man, he gets like shirts and stuff made up for it too. Like, yeah, he loves it.
Oh,
yeah.
He's-
Oh, for sure.
I love it.
So
Cool, man.
Okay, well, I think I have to get going.
Colin,
man.
have a
Hey,
great
have a
time
good
at
camp.
camp, my man.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey, thank you guys both for joining. We appreciate it. As always, thank you guys for joining us for the full episode. It was amazing. First time ever bringing on a special guest halfway through the episode, so maybe we'll do it again. Gene, watch your text.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Man.
brought to you always by Mitten Athletic Supply. Join us. Come talk to us. Got comments, please. So thank you. See you guys.
All right. See you, Drew.
See you guys.
See you guys.
Good luck this season.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.